What is going on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes whale chat, and I am renaming the whale chat today to free to play versus whales, because we are always going to have both free to play and whale representatives on this chat, which we've been doing for a long time. I didn't feel like it was really appropriate to call it just a whale chat, because it's not just a whale chat. So we can bring in the full perspectives of the entire community. So let's introduce who we have got today on the video. Some familiar faces. Everyone has been on this whale chat, whale free to play versus whale chat, except for Toyota Canada, the legendary Toyota. What's going on, Toyota? You're finally here on a video, my man.
Finally, yes. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you, and you are our truest free-to-play representative. You have spent exactly how much on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, Toyota?
A big fat zero.
A big fat zero. That's so, I'm so impressed by that. And then we've got our, I'm going to say our born-again free-to-play. Ram Bam is an ex-whale who has not spent money at all on this game. And since when, Ram Bam?
Since what was it, like probably 3 or 4 months ago, one of the whale chats, about the whole time the whole thing with Arnold happened.
So you're very clean. How is your, just a real quick question for you before we introduce our other guests, how has your perspective on the game changed going from the whale side of things? I mean, you were hard whaling, like 30, almost $40,000 deep, if I remember right, and now you're 100% free to play. How has your perspective of the game changed, would you say?
It's actually, I think it's made me a little bit more competitive, because obviously I can't have everything brand new, and so I would have, if I was a whale, I would have had Ray by now. Yeah. And so it's made me have to kind of farm counters and farm characters that I normally wouldn't have farmed, just to kind of get around the lack of characters that I have for not spending. So
that's fascinating.
Maybe a little bit more competitive. I like it though.
So more competitive. Would you say that you enjoyed the game more as a whale, enjoyed it more as, maybe on the free to play end, or about equal?
I would say equally. Okay. It's different aspects of it. Okay. That obviously each side has its own perks. But I still enjoy the game equally, I would say.
I'd love to keep asking you questions about this. This is great. But Ram Bam and I, we're gonna do a video at some point here soon. He's got a channel. Be sure to go check him out. I'll leave a link to his stuff down below. The Sex Panther himself, Nemesis, is here as well. What's going on, Nem? You're on the whale side of things. How much would you say you've spent on the game roughly? Have you added up that figure?
I haven't actually added it up, but if I was to put an estimate, I'd say 80 to 85,000.
That's whale status. I'd say you're comfortably a whale. So welcome to the whale chat, Nem. We'll ask you a lot of questions today. And then Azrael, our representative from Team Instinct, is here, who also has a couple side hustles in the game. You're very involved in the community. How deep would you say you're in the spending sphere, Azrael?
Oh, a lot of people know I have multiple accounts. I'm definitely up there around 3 figures.
Okay. So we'll say 100,000 plus and let you escape with that. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Well Chat, guys. We got a lot to talk about. We got new Galactic Legends coming to the game. We're going to talk about whether or not this is good or bad for the game, and we want to get both free-to-play and pay-to-play perspectives on that. I think there's a lot of interesting things there. We're also going to talk about which Galactic Legend everyone's going to go for if you are going for a Galactic Legend. And then we're going to talk about the free-to-play aspect of this game. We ask this question a lot. Is free-to-play dead? It's almost like a cliche question to ask at this point, I feel like. But with new Galactic Legends here, I've seen that question coming up more. So I want to discuss that a little bit here. My personal opinion is, depending on which way you look at this new move, there's actually benefits to free to play, but we will talk about that, and that is kind of contingent on how the release rolls out. So let's get it started with Galactic Legends, Luke and Palpatine coming to the game. Is this good or bad for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and why? Let's start down with Toyota. We'll let the newbie talk about this first. Toyota, you are a full bore free-to-play player, how you feeling about this announcement of 2 new Galactic Legends? Well, I know how you feel. You've told me, but you can summarize this for everyone here on the Whale Chat. Or the Whale versus free-to-play versus Whales. I need to remember to rename it.
Sure. So yeah, my first reaction was, "Oh God, I need to get out of SWGoH."
Oh, no.
I was like, this was like the worst timing I could possibly think of for releasing more Galactic Legends. Right when we need more places to use our current rosters. I mean, Galactic Challenges might be that, but we don't know. We'll have to wait until we see what comes out of the exhibition. And
Right.
I think we'll need time to adjust to that mode before it makes sense to release more Galactic Legends. Anyway, it was really, really bad timing, but after I read through everything and had some time to process it, I thought, you know what, I'm a lot happier going for Luke than I would be for either Rey or Kylo, and I'm currently going for Rey. So I'm closer to Luke than I would have been if I wasn't.
Okay.
So, is it good for the game? Short term, I don't think so. I don't know what it looks like long term, though. So
Okay.
we'll have to see.
It seems like your opinion has softened since you first saw the announcement. I'm curious.
Yes.
What happened, or what was your thought process where your opinion, I guess, kind of mellowed out on it?
It was. I think once I got past the timing of it was what really changed my thought process on it.
Okay.
I realized that there was nothing I could do about the timing. So I just had to, make do with what they were giving us.
Mm.
And I'm okay with what they've given us. The requirements, I mean, I don't know, they're not as bad, not as torturous as the old ones, perhaps. Like, I don't know,
So
Rey
far.
had Rose and Resistance Pilot,
Yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Those were more painful. So far, it's not as bad, but again, we have to wait to see what the other requirements are.
Yeah, they still could throw the Hoff Bros in there for you, and that
They
might
could.
that might adjust your opinion, I think. But yeah, for now, I feel the same way. The characters are very much worth farming, and I think that's one of the things that I really wish would always be the case with these. Is if you're gonna force us to take these characters to very competitive levels up at the relics and invest that much in them, please make them characters that we're going to use in the game.
Yep.
And if they're not characters we're going to use, then why am I farming this? It's very just discouraging, especially for free-to-play players who, taking a character to relic is a major investment and not something you can do very often. So Toyota, very good. Thank you for your perspective there. Let's flip over to the pay-to-play side of things. Azrael, you are in one of the most whale-happy guilds in the game. How do you guys feel about this? Do you feel like the new Galactic Legends are good for the game, bad for the game, neutral? Where are you at? And I'd also like to ask, what's kind of the pulse in your guilds?
I think everyone is, for the most part, excited. Just because the arena, is, if you have the Galactic Legends, it's pretty stale at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just, you're either running some mashup Kylo team with Malik and Darth Revan, or something like that, or you're running Rey with really none of her support characters. Most people are running Rey, Gas, Luke,
Right.
GK, and Hermit Yoda. So those battles are horrible. Mirrors are horrible, and then using Kylo on Rey is horrible, and using Rey on Kylo is horrible. So
Right.
it definitely needs a little bit of freshen up. And for me, I really think that I watched your video. I really think that these should have been the first 2 Galactic Legends.
Yes.
I think that it would have went over maybe a little bit better from the first round, the craziness that happened. But overall, I mean, there's definitely not as big as backlash as there was before, and I think people are more generally excited. And to the free-to-play standard, I was talking with someone, but Toyota hit it on the head. There was now people that were crazily farming Rey. Well, you know what? Maybe you want Luke instead. Go get Luke.
Right. Yep. And that's something I definitely want to discuss here, as far as like whether or not free to play is dead, on what these Galactic Legends mean for free-to-play players, and really an angle that I feel is good for the game. I want to get your takes on it. I actually made a video on it, and it deals with the power of these new Galactic Legends, which CG has said and Crumb has further clarified is meant to be on par with the existing Galactic Legends. And so instead of having our normal routine of one meta ushers out an old meta, and then you need to continue chasing what's new and hot, you don't necessarily have to do this now. So even if you are, really competitive and you almost have Kylo or Rey, you can farm those characters still, and they should be competitive still. It's not going to invalidate that investment nearly as much as it has in the past. So I think that's a good take. Thank you, Azrael. Nem, let's move over to you. So you're kind of on the heavy whale side as well. Personally, not in quite as whale happy of a guild as Azrael, but we've got decent galactic power in our guild. Nem and I are in the same guild, if you guys weren't aware. How are you feeling about this? Good or bad?
Well, at first I was kind of off-put by the timing of it.
Yeah.
5 months after the release of Rey and Kylo,
Yeah.
it felt like it was too soon. But as I thought about it more, as long as they're able to tune the characters to be, on par with the current two that we have, I think that in the long run it'll be good for the game. It gives more variability for people to be able to farm something, to farm one of the Galactic Legends, even if it's, and that'll push Squad Arena, to really have that diverse meta in it. So I think in the long run, as long as they will be comparable, I think it'll be great for the game.
Yep, and I think that's probably our takes here. If anyone disagrees, let me know. But I think most of us are assuming that what they say is going to transpire in our take here, that they're going to be equal power and that it's going to kind of be a four-way meta coming up. And that, to me, I agree, is healthy for the game from a Squad Arena standpoint. If you're free to play, you're not going to run into people with 4 Galactic Legends because there are so many different characters you have to farm there. The Galactic power is going to be so much higher than you for those. So Grand Arena, I don't think it's going to be quite as big of a deal as you may think on the surface level. And then for Squad Arena, you can't use 4 Galactic Legends in the same team. You got to pick one. And so everyone's going to be running one. So hopefully there's kind of a round robin and a lot of player agency involved in what character resonates with you. What character do you want to farm? Are you a dark side guy? Are you a big Luke fan? Do you hate The Last Jedi? Okay, so don't go for Luke, that kind of thing. So anyway, I think that's very good, very good. So, all right, Rambam, you haven't given your thoughts yet. Are you pretty much echoing everyone else's sentiment here? Or do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so I like the idea of having Galactic Legends, the new Galactic Legends coming. I don't like the fact that they're coming out so soon. I think the timing is horrible. But these two are far better characters as far as lore perspective and fan favorites, and they feel more like Galactic Legends than I think Rey and Kylo ever would. So, I'm personally excited to go after them, but
yeah,
just 4 in 1 year. It's just that's it feels like CG's just reaching for the wallet. That's what it feels like.
I agree with that perspective, and I said this many times at this point, but I'll say it again. It definitely feels like if Galactic Challenges would have hit on all cylinders and been just a really great smash hit, I think this would be a lot easier for a lot of us to swallow. But because in the absence of content that has been meaningful, having more paywall characters is a bit more, I guess, difficult to accept. But yeah, very much so agree on the legend status. Luke and Sith Eternal Emperor are total Galactic Legends. Rey and Kylo, maybe they got there by the end of Rise of Skywalker with what they did. No spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. I don't know how you haven't seen it if you haven't, but anyway. But Luke and Palpatine, just so much more up there. So, all right.
The silver lining the silver lining in all of this is the fact that, first off, both Kino and Crumb came out and said that Galactic Legends will not be required to get these Galactic Legends, and that they will be equal in power or of similar power. And so, yeah, from a certain perspective, it it is good to have these characters because you're going to be able to. You won't be hindered if you have one or the other. In that theory, Rey will beat Kylo, Kylo will beat Rey, Palp will beat Luke, and vice versa, and all the other different ways. So I think from that aspect, it's good. And also, the characters required are just far better. I completely echo Toyota's sentiment on that. The characters required are far better. I already have Palp and Vader.
Yep.
Relic 7.
Yeah.
And as far as like the Luke requirements so far, now granted, we've only seen one of 3 sets of requirements, so that could possibly change. But Mon Mothma, great character. 3PO and Chewbacca, great character. So
they just feel like hopefully that trend continues. We still have, I think, 8 characters, assuming they keep the trend, 8 characters in one ship unit to be revealed, and so hopefully that trend continues. Now, I want to get a pulse from you guys on what it is, which Galactic Legend you're going for, and why. If you are going for one, I'm assuming all 4 of you here are at least pursuing one of them, or maybe Azrael and Nem. It might be both for you guys based on your whaling capabilities here. But let's start with Toyota. Between the two, Toyota, Galactic Legend, Luke and Palpatine, which one are you going for?
I think for me it's a no-brainer. Go for Luke.
My man.
First of all, it's Luke Skywalker. Who doesn't want Luke Skywalker? But also, I was going for Rey, so I already have my RJT is almost Relic 7, so I really don't want to suffer for that. So I am going to go for Luke. As long as he's better than Rey. So here's the thing. The kits aren't out yet, right?
Right.
So as long as Luke is better than Rey, even if he's on the same power level, I will go for Luke. But if Rey is somehow better, then I might have to rethink my decision, but I can't see that happening.
Yeah, you're anticipating then, expecting that they're going to be similar power based on what Crumb said. So, okay, cool. I'm kind of in the same camp. Ram Bam, you're free to play. Which one are you going for?
If I had to choose between the two and not, based on the info we have now, obviously it'd be Luke. Because again, I like the requirements better, and I like Luke better. Who doesn't want a new Luke Skywalker in their roster? But as I told my folks, I'm going to be waiting based on the kits and based on after I do an analysis of their kits and see the overall picture of all the requirements, and then I'll make a decision. So for now, until we get these Galactic Legends, I'm on a holding pattern. I'm not spending any resources, not doing anything in the game, just holding everything, and then that way I can be ready to go.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I think a lot of us, I guess some of us will go for it based on pure emotion, and our farming situation. For me, I want Luke, and part of me doesn't care what the kits look like because Luke Skywalker is my childhood hero. And I know a lot of people didn't like what they did with him in The Last Jedi. I don't so much have a problem with that. I actually quite liked Luke in The Last Jedi, which I know I'm going to get hate for in the comment section. But I really like this character. Not just Luke, but this version of Luke I like. And I have some ideas for... I was saying in my Twitch chat earlier, I think his ultimate ability needs to have a cutscene of him sitting down on his rock, crossing his legs, floating up in the air, and then a force projection appears in front of him where it's the younger Luke with the lightsaber, and everyone has to hit him. Everybody has to hit him, but nobody can hit him. I think that would be an awesome ultimate ability and be so true to the lore. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're going to do that. And if you guys haven't designed anything yet, CG, there you go. There's an idea. You can take it. You can pay me royalties later. All right, Nem and Azrael. I'm guessing that you guys are going for both Galactic Legends, so I'd like to ask you guys, if you had to choose between one or the other, which one would you go for, assuming you're going for both? And if you aren't going for both, then tell me which one you're going for. So we'll start with Nem.
I am going for both.
Okay.
And the goal is to have both at least unlocked week 1.
Wow.
Wow. but if I had to choose one over the other, probably Luke over Palpatine.
My man. Why?
I think that Luke is that iconic character that whenever you think of Star Wars, you think of Luke.
Yeah.
So especially for the iteration that this is. I mean, this is supposed to be that ultimate form of Luke. He's reached his final. He's hit Jedi Master. So while I might not be a fan that these next GLs are also sequel characters, I like that it's I finally get a Galactic Legend Luke. So that's my thought on it.
I like it. Azrael, where are you at?
I'm also going for both. If I had to pick, I definitely would probably go for Luke, just because like he's the reason I started watching Star Wars when I was a kid, and I mean like a total fanboy of him. And like Nim said, I mean I'm preparing to make sure I get these as quickly as possible. I already started farming. Well, I've already maxed out my energy, and then bought the then bought the packs on top of it.
Yeah.
And I don't plan on spending any more energy until they're released, so that I basically can get all the,
Other than your 600.
Well, I'll buy that with Cantina with
there you
crystals.
go. Wow, look at this guy. That's amazing. Yeah, it's a whole world for all of you free-to-play players out there. There's a whole world of hoarding you might not be aware of for Galactic Legends, where a lot of these whales will avoid. Nem is in the same camp, I know, Azrael. We already talked about it, where people will save up as much energy as they can, and the game caps out how much energy you can buy with refreshes. But when you buy packs that contain energy, you can grab it there, and then also your, of course, gifted energy you get every day in your inbox. And so it's an interesting world that you can manage to do that and also farm the characters. It's the world of the whale. So I want to shift the conversation. I think I'm very, very happy to hear that everyone's going to go for would pick Luke. That just makes my fanboy heart happy. Although Palpatine, I'm sure Palpatine will also be really cool. But I want to talk a little bit about this free-to-play question where people think, oh my gosh, 2 more Galactic Legends, free-to-play is dead. Toyota, you're the only true free-to-play player here. And Rambam is a born-again free-to-play. He's seen both sides of the fence. But Toyota, you've been doing this thing. You've never even bought $1 worth of crystals in this game. You are 0 ever on this game. Do you feel like free-to-play is dead? Do you feel like this Galactic Legends thing, the new Galactic Legends, is just completely ruining your enjoyment of the game? From where you sit, you're the only one really qualified to speak on this subject. As a free-to-play player, how do you feel about that notion?
Well, I think it depends what you want to do as a free-to-play player. If you're going for number 1 in Spawn Arena and top of the table in GAC, maybe you're going to have your enjoyment of the game damaged by more GLs. But if you're content at being, top 100 in Arena and just doing your best in Grand Arena, I think you should be okay. But it really does depend what you want to get out of the game. For me personally, I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not looking forward to facing more Galactic Legends in Arena, but eventually I'll get it. Like, I was running Darth Revan forever, and then I got gas. With Darth Revan, I was in the top 100, and once I got gas, I moved back up to the top 40 or 50. So I think confidently I can say I would be able to do the same thing by the time I got a Galactic Legend, most likely. So I think I'd be okay. And that's all. Top 50, I don't care if I get 50th. I get the crystals. That's all that really matters. Even then, Arena doesn't make or break the game for me. So
I love that perspective. It's about what you want to get out of the game. And everyone, I think this is something that's important for people to, I guess, accept when they play and become committed in the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes realm, is what kind of a player are you and what is giving you that competitive drive? Is it finishing first in arena every day? Is it getting all of your grand arena wins? Is it doing well in raids? Or where do you find that enjoyment? And I think it's really important to point out that there is a lot of areas you can find that enjoyment as a free-to-play player. And it's just a matter of what are your expectations. And if your expectations are that ultra competitive, need to be first, then this might not be the game for you, frankly. So Toyota, I want to ask you a follow-up question on that. Where do you find your enjoyment in this game? What is it that gets you excited to play?
I'd say honestly, it's the community. And as long as the community is going strong, I keep enjoying the game. So it's hanging out with you guys, hanging out on Twitch, on YouTube, or on Discord. And things in the game could be going really poorly, and I probably would still stick around and enjoy hanging out with everyone. And I mean, arena, meh. GAC is fun. I enjoy GAC. Okay. I enjoyed the teamwork aspect of TW and TB. But yeah, it's really in the people for me more than the game even.
I think that's a really interesting take, and I want to kind of move over to the whale side of the fence. Would you guys agree with what Toyota said as far as the community is concerned? When you guys weigh out your enjoyment of the game, how high would you rank the community in that?
Personally, I agree with Toyota. It's the community is a massive part for continuing.
I agree. I mean, I spend more time on Discord talking to all my friends and talking to you guys and getting to know new people than I do actually playing the game. But I do enjoy playing the game. So like, you know, I don't play, you know, just play it just because I keep in touch with everyone. You know, I could obviously retire like a lot of people, but you know, it's just kind of how it is. But I think that's probably true for anyone that's like involved, whether you think you're like super involved and have like a YouTube channel and stuff like that. But if you have a guild that has a line server or, you know, Telegram or Discord or something, I mean, you care. And I mean, it's kind of about building relationships.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's really interesting to highlight that while there are we call this chat the free-to-play versus whales, and while there's going to be differences here, like maybe Nem and Azrael here may be able to enjoy aspects of the game on a level that someone like Toyota or now Rambam aren't as much able to quite pull off. They're still ultimately one of the most compelling aspects of this game is the same for all of us, and that kind of winds up being the community. Rambam, anything you want to add to that discussion? We didn't get a chance to go to you on that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I've said it before on whale chats, and I'll say it again. The community is the most amazing part of this game. The game could be, in my opinion, probably in the worst spot that it's been in. And I mean, we survived 2019. 2019 was notoriously bad for content in this game.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people and all of 20 for the most part, except for like 3 months of 2020 for some reason was pretty good. But a lot of people stuck around because the community, because their friends are here, their guildmates are here. They like the capability of playing with those folks on a day-to-day basis, working with their squad mates, their guilds, and all that stuff. You know, streamer or not streamer, doesn't matter. The community is just awesome. So from that regard, I don't think free-to-play is dead. I think, yes, it obviously hinders free-to-play having more Galactic Legends coming out, but you have it, as I've had to reevaluate where I stand, free-to-play, you have to analyze where you want to be at in the game. If you were thinking, again, like you want to be number one in everything and you want to be undefeated and have all the newest cool stuff, then free to play is not for you. I'm sorry. But if you are satisfied just having fun, and you might not take first all the time, you know, you might not win every grand arena, and you might not have all the coolest stuff and you know, the newest R7s and whatnot. That's okay. If that's okay with you, then you should be fine with being free to play.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun, that's really the most important thing.
I like it. Great take. Thank you very much for your perspective, Ram Bam. All right, this has been a really, really good discussion today. I'd love you guys to fill up the comments below with how you're feeling about all of this and add your takes. So this was Whales versus Free to Play. Chat is, we're always going to bring on, as many new faces as we can here, but all of you in the comments, your opinion is very valuable as well. So I'd love to hear from you guys on where you are at. To wrap up, we do have 4 questions for our panel today. Toyota, I believe you've compiled the 4 questions. Usually you're giving them to me in chat, but you're here, so you can just do it verbally today.
Yep, I have all the questions here.
All right. Why don't you ask them, and let's start with Azrael. Toyota.
Okay. The first question is from Kipper Snack. Have any of you fallen into the trap of being so used to disappointment from CG that you have a bias towards negativity with things they're releasing? Initially, I was super salty about the new GLs, and I became downtrodden, and I realized this is an overall good thing for FTP. I initially was looking for reasons to be upset with CG. Once I started thinking more long-term, I'm at peace with the new GLs.
Oh, thanks, Kibbernat, for the question. With CG, I think anything's possible. This could probably go as like a 1 or 2 ways when I say the next thing. But, some people are saying, not 4 GLs this year, not 4 GLs, we can't take it. Well, for the last 8 months, we've complained that they haven't done anything. So I do think that maybe we brought some of this on ourselves as complaining. And you know what? Well, guess what? We complained and complained since January and February and March, and nothing's happened. Well, guess what? They gave us the 2 characters we've always wanted, and how can we be negative about that?
Right.
I mean, we got Luke and EP, like the real EP. Yeah. So I don't know. Now, I would be mad if they released more in February or something like that. But I think this year, like, as long as they fix their servers and clients and all that stuff they were doing, and there's no more big surprises before the end of the year with crazy like Galactic Legends or something. I think if they would have been spread over the course of a whole year and not so close together, we wouldn't be complaining. So anything's possible, but we have to just be careful with what we're doing out there, because obviously they're listening, and that's why we ended up with these Galactic Legends.
Very well said, Azrael. Thank you very much for your perspective there. Toyota, what's the next question? This one will go to Nem.
Okay. If you could restart in SWGoH, like you gotta get a full refund and restart from day 1, would you re-whale again or be free to play? This is from Measured Sky 83.
That's a good one.
Wow, that is a great question. Honestly, probably I would spend again, but not at the level that I have. So I would have spent, but it would have been a more controlled spend. So I think that's where I fall in on it.
So I want to dig into that a little bit, Nem. Do you have regrets then potentially about? I guess you feel like your spending has sometimes been out of control. Is that something that you've worked on and you feel like you're in a better place with, or tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I definitely think that at one point in time, the spending had kind of really snowballed downhill with it, and that led to some ill-advised purchases at bad times. But I have definitely controlled my spending a lot more, and while I am still spending, I'm at a place where I don't feel like I'm forced to spend on things that I don't necessarily want. I am spending on the things that I actually want now.
Cool. All right. Well, now I'm glad that you're in a place now where you feel better about it. That's very good. I know I've kind of been there a little bit myself, and it's definitely not a fun feeling to feel that pressure. So, all right, Toyota, we got another one here for Rambam.
Hey. Oh yes, this is perfect for Rambam. Why is Mace so bad? And what would you like to see from a rework? This is from High Ground and Measured Sky. I combined their questions because they were almost the same.
Oh man, I knew it was coming. All right,
deserve
so
this.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. Why is he so bad? That determines on what your aspect of bad is. If it is completely unusable, I disagree completely. As I did just get 7 kills against the Night Sister team with my Mace Windu and GAC. So I disagree
Yeah.
that he's unusable.
Was Galactic
However,
Legend Kylo with you?
no. It was actually Jedi Knight Revan.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But Mace still got the kills, so that's all that matters.
Mhm.
He has more usability than I would say Coruscant Underworld Police or Mob Enforcer or Tuskens. So, but he desperately needs a rework. He is not at the level that he should be in canon. In canon, he's legitimately the second baddest Jedi in the galaxy next to Yoda. He's second in command. He was the battle master of the Order, and he
orchestrated Order 66 by being an absolute douche.
We will disagree on that one, but
we'll agree to disagree, citizen.
Sure. Yes, he wasn't wrong. Now, what would I like to see out of a rework for him? I went over this in one of my videos that I talked about with another guy of mine. They need to overhaul his entire kit. They need to adjust Shatterpoint. They need to Shatterpoint being one of the most deadly and dangerous abilities in lore. Vapad should be much better. It should literally be able to destroy pretty much any dark side user out there. He needs to badly hit harder, and he needs to have that tank tag removed. He is not a tank. He's never been a tank. He has always been an attacker, hands down. So I think those are some things that they need to adjust. Whenever we will get that rework, who knows? I'm anxiously waiting.
Wonderful. All right, Toyota, there's going to be one more question there that you've got. I want you to ask that question. I'm going to answer it, and then I've got a question for you. We'll let you wrap it up.
Okay. So the last question is from G Vortex. The road ahead promised content. We got galactic challenges and new GLs. Is this new content or more of the same?
So obviously, Galactic Challenges is new content. It's just not quality new content. And so I think I want to be clear that CG did deliver on their promise to bring us new content. They just didn't deliver on their promise as yet to bring us content that is a lot of what they said it would be, which is replayable, even though technically they added the replayability technically, but they didn't add replayable value that you get out of something like a raid where you get in there as much as you can, use your whole roster, boost your score, get better rewards. The rewards component needs to be adjusted. I'm optimistic that they can adjust those things, which obviously they've alluded to in a post directly, and so we'll have to just wait and see. But I'm gonna reserve my further judgment on the subject until they release that first round of patches, which is hopefully gonna be pretty soon once we finish this first exhibition. So I think that's a really good and viable question. But yeah, I really feel like there's a lot more content that needs to come out still. I don't think Galactic Legends, Galactic Challenges, even if they deliver and fix it in a lot of ways, I still think more is going to be needed to hold our interest. All right, we'll finish with one question from Toyota. Toyota, if anybody knows Toyota, which all of you should, if you are involved in the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes YouTube/Twitch scene, you'd be hard-pressed to not see Toyota around. You are around almost everybody's streams. You're a moderator for almost every big YouTuber, myself included, Arnold included, and a bunch of others. I want to ask you and let you tell us a little bit about your story on how you ended up a mod for basically the whole Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community. What was it like? Tell me about that. Give me some backstory.
It's actually kind of funny. So I started out as a moderator on your channel.
Wait, was I the original person who modded you?
Yes.
I knew it. I started this. Okay. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, and then at some point, I don't know how long ago, maybe 2 years ago, Arnold brought me into his server to help with Discord stuff. And then I became a mod on his channel. But it wasn't until the stream that Mobile Gamer did with you and Arnold at his house, when you and Arnold told MG to make me a mod.
Oh.
Yeah, and then that
I remember
happened.
that.
So that started the snowball, and then Ram asked me to mod on his channel,
Okay.
and the chat begged Grid to make me a mod on his channel.
Everyone demands Toyota to mod for them now.
And then it really just snowballed from there.
Well,
I show up and I become a mod places. It's kind of funny, actually.
you are Galaxy of Heroes royalty by now. You know this, right? It's funny. A little call out to you and your professionalism. I have there's a mod that I've worked with for a long time as well, who is very experienced as a Twitch moderator, who is modded for some pretty big streamers, and he's got a lot of experience in this area. I happen to know him. And when he started working with you, I'll tell you who it is after the stream, but he started working with you. He messaged me and he said, I think you should know Toyota is one of the best mods I've ever seen. He's very good at this. And so we love you, Toyota. We appreciate everything you do.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I really enjoy helping you guys out. So it's my way of giving back to the community.
Listen to that Canadian accent. He enjoys helping us out. He enjoys helping us out. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Free to Play versus Wales, a community discussion. We had a great panel today. It was really great having Toyota on, especially today as a first timer. I think we'll have to bring him back. And then everyone else has been here before, of course. Nam, Azrael, Ram, Bam, and Toyota. Thank you guys so much for joining today.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, guys. It's always a pleasure.
All right. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,